When you grow up being blamed, overlooked, or treated as the problem, you don't stop loving your caregivers. You stop loving yourself. I'm Emma, a medical doctor and an abuse survivor. If you always feel responsible, invisible, or ashamed, even though you are doing your best, this video is for you. Some parts may stir strong emotions. That's okay. Pause if you need to. Come back when you're ready. You are not alone. You are safe here. In toxic families, one child often becomes the scapegoat, the one who gets blamed, burdened with responsibilities, or targeted when the parent is unhappy. Sometimes it's about birth order. The oldest child becomes a stand-in parent, especially if the toxic parent favors the youngest. That had happened to me. At age 6, I was caring daily for 3 younger siblings, changing diapers, putting babies to sleep, and my mother would leave me alone for hours to babysit. Other times, it's about personality. Maybe you were empathic and helpful, easy to manipulate, always trying to do the right thing. Or maybe you resisted control, and that made you the enemy, a threat. That doesn't mean that children shouldn't help at home. Learning responsibility is healthy. The problem is when the demands are not age appropriate and when they come with guilt, shame, or personal attacks. It becomes abuse when a parent abandons their role and the child is made responsible for everyone's needs and then blamed when things go wrong. Also, if you're a parent watching this, it's okay to have human moments. You don't have to meet all your kids' emotional needs perfectly. What matters is that you take responsibility and say, it's not your fault, and reconnect with love. That's already more than enough. So what is the scapegoat dynamic? A toxic person doesn't have the ability to deal with their own emotions, and they aren't responsible adults. So when things spill over, someone needs to get blamed. Toxic people often lack a realistic self-image, sometimes because they can't reflect, sometimes because they don't want to. Usually it's both. Emotional immaturity plus an unwillingness to grow. So when things go wrong, they blame, and they usually pick someone who can't fight back. Children are easy targets, and it's confusing and heartbreaking. I remember crying as a child, and my mother saying, "You see, you're crying because you feel guilty. That proves I'm right." I learned to swallow my tears, try harder, to anticipate everything. I became excellent at reading other people's needs. A kind word for someone who looked sad. A glass of water for someone who looked warm. Nice things in themselves, but dangerous when all your focus goes outward. And you keep serving, even when your own body is screaming for rest. This pattern is common. As adults, scapegoat children often becomes hyper-responsible, overly empathic, and disconnected from their own needs. You may not have had siblings, but maybe you still had to parent your parent. Children need adults to attach to help them understand who they are, to help them name emotions, and to deal with them when they become overwhelming, that is called container function. But when the parent is overwhelmed, immature, or emotionally absent, they may project their own shame onto the child. Suddenly, the child feels like the problem. The message becomes, your feelings don't matter. Your needs are a burden. The only way to get affection is to perform. In these homes, everything revolves around the parent's needs. If the parent needs closeness, you must be there. If they need to vent, you must listen. If they need help, you must provide it. This isn't parenting. This is emotional enmeshment. How it still shows up. You apologize for existing. You are afraid to express needs. You wait for the right moment to ask for help, then feel guilty for asking. You serve everyone but yourself. You notice everyone else's feelings, but not your own. You feel safest when you're invisible or useful. That's called the fawn response. A trauma pattern of avoiding harm by pleasing others. You attract relationships that mirror your past. Who benefits the most from someone like this? Another toxic person. How do they pull you in? By praising your kindness, your big heart, your ability to make them feel good. It feels like love because that's the only affection you were ever shown. And the pattern repeats. This survival pattern is rooted in grief. Grief for the parent you needed and never had. Some call it the mother wound or the father wound. As kids, we don't see our parents as flawed. When something feels wrong, we assume we are the flaw, especially when the parent says so, calls you names, blames you, belittles you. Even in adulthood, that belief sticks. Because those thoughts were repeated for years. But the good news, they can be relearned. It's called reparenting. Notice your negative self-talk, then gently challenge it. Try journaling something you did well today, or counting them on your fingers at bedtime. Ask your feelings what they need. When you feel bad, pause and ask, what did I need back then that I can give myself now? Reconnect with your body and inner child. You deserve joy. You deserve rest. You don't have to be good all the time. You're allowed to be silly, messy, and unfinished. Practice saying no and tolerating discomfort. You might feel unsafe when others aren't pleased with you, but it does get easier. Let me share a story with you. When I was doing my hospital rotations, I had this habit of always volunteering when the head doctor would ask if someone could do a task, even though I was struggling with burnout symptoms. So I practiced. When the head doctor asked, who can take this referral? I was quiet, and there was silence, awkward. I was wiggling my toes inside my shoes, and finally someone took the task. I'm not saying you should shirk responsibility, but you don't have to carry it all, especially when you're already running on empty. You were never the problem. You were a child reacting to a broken system. Now you get to break the pattern, not yourself. And When you do, you set a powerful example for your children. Your calm joy makes them feel safe. If you want more on raising secure kids, watch my video on generational toxicity. I'm Emma, holding up a light over the bridge. Remember, there is always a way out. There is always a way forward. And you don't need to earn your worth. You already have it. You are valuable and very special. Please take care. Be safe. And have a beautiful day.